animals. This is shit game, otherwise known as bulk. We have a team I just casted, DoctorPoor Neeeboe, Grimes, or Grims, not Grimes. Big difference between Grimes and Grims actually. But we have those guys, and these guys right here, FukinDankBud, madviillain, and Blank0ut. Blank0ut. Actually, I was gonna say Blank0ut might be the more known name, but I don't even care who's the most known name. All three of these players are fucking insane, man. But this is a best of three maps. So we don't get to see the full series. Once again, I always mention this, but it's a little bit unfortunate. I really do wish there was some method of keeping all three, because I really would like to cast a full best of three. Actually, what I could say, I normally don't say anything about what happened in the best of three, but what I'll say about this one is that it did go all three maps. And this is only the first map, so we have no idea who's gonna win. I have no idea who's gonna win, which is fun. For me, when I know it's a 2-0, it's unfortunate because I still know who's gonna win. I don't know how many rounds or whatever, but I will know who ends up winning. But when it's a 2-1, with just watching one map, I have no idea who's gonna take this. So it's a little bit more fun for me. And God, what else did I want to say? Well, I guess I should just talk about the comps. Kind of lost my train of thought. They are playing the same exact comps as they played before. They're just basically maining, but the comps are really interesting. I must admit, I've never really seen a game with comps like this. I've never even really played a game with comps like this. I'd have to say I'd be out of my element if someone put me on any of these heroes in this particular game right here. So hopefully my casting will still be decent. But if we look at the comps, we got a 2-tank versus a or 2-tank with a I guess you could say versus, but 2-tank with a madviillain herald, which should be pretty good against this right here. These two, Neeeboe will have a bit of trouble dealing damage to these guys. But one big thing about the chrono flux of madviillain that we should point out. These guys can throw shit at it and trance off of it and just immediately get on mad. So if they kind of exploit that a lot, they can get some really easy ins and maybe get some nice momentum going just based off of that. Doctor should not have too much trouble here surviving. At least I wouldn't think. Actually, no. Do you know what? I'm not gonna say that. I have no guarantees with this Blank0ut DankBud combo. Anyway, let's look at the medallions. Let's look at these meteors, I should say. 4 meteors on all the DPS, 4 Aegises, 4 marks of the assassin. So it's a pretty straightforward game. If just one cold team member once again had a frost shard, it really kind of throws Warm off balance a little bit because of the trances. Frost shard plus meteor and stuff. Like Frost Shard and Meteor are both insanely good against trance, so it's just something to consider when you know what the other team's gonna pick. But even here, like this should still be fine. The trances won't be that big of a deal for these guys, other than for madviillain, who once again can be tranced on his chrono flux. Kind of a shaky mechanic, but you know, I think it's interesting enough. I'm not gonna question BLC. I think it's a little bit too late to question it anymore anyway, but anyway, fuck it, let's just go. We have a 500 MS player here, so are they gonna wait? No, it looks like they're okay. Space out by Dank, entrance onto Matt or Blank. He double spaces them back and gets stone shielded as well, and the stone shield actually does some decent damage, so it's still worth it. It may have looked odd, but it was still worth it. Blank actually gets that rune somehow and trances onto Neeeboe, who's kind of in a lot of trouble. That meteor is so close to hitting too, but another one comes and hits Grims. He doesn't lose any real HP because of the totem though. Silence onto DankBud. Ult already coming out from Blank. He trances Neebo's Whirling Blade. One-man stun coming out from Dank, and a trance onto madviillain, who is going to space. Neebo's going to pursue him, but actually can't. Nice time rift by Mad. Neebo's going to be on him, and a Chrono Bolt going on to Neeeboe to push him back. Gets a Whirling Blade and a Tempest onto Mad, but that's not going to be insanely helpful. And Grims also goes down. Sorry, Kearney, but nah. Is what DankBud says. I'm not sure what he's talking about. He might be listening to the stream or something. But really, really dominant round one by Blank0ut right there. Showing why he, I mean, fuck, he might be the best inhibitor, honestly. But we will have to see more of his work in the future. M1's going off from both inhibs, not really hitting anybody. Chrono Flux going down, and an Earthstorm, keeping Blank pretty safe, but he is hit with 3 stacks of amp. Gonna get spaced on, and the stacks are refreshed. Blank goes for the rune though, and Dank gets a really big 2-man meteor, and actually stalagmites Neeeboe by accident as he harpoons over, or maybe it was a trance onto Blank0ut. Neeeboe pursuing madviillain. Blank doing a bit of an awkward space, but does try to CC up madviillain. DoctorPoor trying to dispel that stun shield, but Mad didn't really need the stun shield too much anyway. Mad going for a space. Meat bolt onto Grims. Runic beam goes down, but doesn't hit anyone. Tempest onto Dank, but he was in his stun shield. Grims has an ult. Stifling Dust locked up. Not gonna be a big deal. I don't know why I'm casting that. Neeeboe losing his trance, landing an harpoon onto Mad, is in a bit of trouble. He pops his Aegis. No trance, no Aegis onto Neeeboe, but he does have his space. Misses his Whirling Blade. If DankBud knew the cooldowns that Neeeboe did not have at that moment, I think he might have gone for a kill, but 2-man temporal lockdown. No, it does end up being a 2-man. Nice temporal by madviillain. I don't know why I say madviillain, it's just madviillain. Ult coming out from Dank, or it's from Blank, but Dank CC's it by accident, and madviillain gets harpooned up, spaces away from... This round is just pure chaos, holy shit. Meteor going down on Blank. Doctor's so low. Mad is spacing towards Blank, who EX spaces away from him immediately. And Dank seems to be the only one doing okay on health. Him and Grims, actually. Meeple barely missing Neeeboe because of that slow from the Chronoflux. Kind of funny, kind of awkward game mechanics right there. A lot of weakens going down onto Blank right now. He hits for nothing, so he does need to kind of wait for those to fade. They're gone now. Lock onto DankBud's stone shield, but Grims went down. I'm not sure if he had trance. Oh shit, I was just on him. No, that's not the right inhib. No, he did not have chance. He did have space though. And he had Aegis too. If he has the medallion expertise, which pretty much everyone has. I don't remember what the other ones are, but DankBud spamming his emote. That's probably kind of what you want to do versus Grims, at least. Well, I shouldn't shit talk Grims while I'm casting him, but you know, some players do have a bit of a temper. I would include myself in that one, and when I'm losing and someone's spamming chicken, it could tilt me. It could also motivate me more, but anyway, Stone Shield coming out by Dank. He gets hit up by Mantra, but a lot of amps and 2 backstab M1s from the SM. That's a lot of damage. Even in an Earthstorm, it's a lot of damage. Grims refreshes his stacks onto DankBud, but will he explode it? No, he does not. He does get a chance in though. Meteor onto Doctor. 2-man space by Blank, really clean by him. Silence onto DankBud. Space coming out from Neeeboe. 2-man Whirling Blade and a big Shuriken. Temporal lockdown onto Grims, who did use his trance. He has his own ult as Blank threw out his. A meatball onto Doctor, and he gets locked up on his healing ward. Big ult coming out from Neeeboe and Grims at the same time. Not sure if Grims is big though. Trance onto madviillain Sphere by Neeeboe. He's going to get a 2-man whirling, and yes, he'll go for a shuriken, but it ends up hitting DoctorPoor, not madviillain, because of the reflect. Space in by Grims onto Blank. 1-man weaken coming out from Doctor, but he's so low, he gets spaced up by DankBud and stuns him. The weaken does not affect the duration of the stun. Blank0ut getting amped up and hit with a meteor. That was a nice meteor combo. DankBud is 1v1ing Neeeboe while Grims and Blank0ut duke it out up top. Nice AX space onto Blank0ut's ult right there by Grims. Grims lands a trance onto Mad. Chrono blocking Grims's healer away from him, but I think DoctorPoor was kind of in trouble. Anyway, Doctor's just going to go down. That was a really nice meatball snipe, but DankBud goes down as well. It should be easier for Cold since they do have the healer, but you never know in these 2v2 situations when everybody has expended their cooldowns. 2-man Tempest landed, and an EX space, but Grims is now locked. He's kind of fucked unless he lands a trance, so that's nice. He does not hit that trance. He actually EX spaces it, but as Neeeboe goes for the rune, he ends up getting killed by Blank0ut. So nicely done by him. I actually have to read. I have to read what this spell is called. Woji. Would you say that's Woji or Woj? I'll just say Woj because there's like Waji and oh well. I thought that. Oh, dude, I've never seen. Holy shit! I should like screenshot this because this is well, I guess I know how to reproduce it, right? Anyway, yeah, the EX space is called Woj. Harpoon misses on Blank, which is good actually because he was transferring right there. Grims uses his trance, gets completely spaced on by the DPS of Hold. But he doesn't take any real damage. They end up taking a lot more damage than he did, but they still get some pretty decent energy. And Dank expends his right away and already farms up some more. Will he use his healing storm right here? No, he just uses his meat bolt. He really loves the meat bolt. I have to say, he doesn't use the revitalizing storm at all. He just lets his healer get get energy off of him. Fear going out from that villain, not really hitting anybody. 2-man space coming out from Blank. He lands a runic beam on a trancing Grims, who does have a lot of stacks on himself. He's gonna pop his ult, and Dank does the right decision, just spaces away immediately, not having anything for that ult. Lands Stalagmite. Grims uses his trance, has runic and totem though for the meteor and everything, so that's not gonna do very much damage. Grims is okay for now. Waji gets locked up, which is the EX space. He was trying to do the Woj space. And Grims has a Woj space of his own maybe. I'd have to say Neeeboe really needs to go for more M1s. He's kind of missing some, and he's just kind of irrelevant in this game. Grims kind of in trouble, landing a trance, whirling blade onto Blank0ut. Neeeboe onto madviillain, does not get temporal though. Nobody gets hit by that temporal, and Dank's kind of in some trouble. Neebo's going for an ult on him, and that's gonna be around for Worm finally. Dank's just so deep in, and actually as soon as I start talking about Neeeboe not doing a lot, he's actually zoning out mad and going for a kill on DankBud, so we'll play by him. But he really has kind of felt irrelevant a little bit. He is getting decent TPS, but there's a difference between TPS and kills, you know. He finally has gotten a kill right there. But Grims is, I have to say, I should highlight Grims right here. He's fucking doing well. He's doing really good right here. I have to give him props, even with the scoreboard being the way that it is. But Dank goes for a space. Two-man meet and eat, and really well played by him. Whirling Blade gets dodged by Dank. Blank going for a space onto Doctor, tries to lock up his space. Doctor just throws down totem, doesn't get locked up on anything. Dank misses his meat bolt while Blank0ut gets 2v1, hit by 2 meteors, I believe. Doctor kind of in some trouble, but he does have totem. Dank spaces a totem and goes for a meat and eat. Whirling Blade onto Blank, going for a Woj, locks up 2 with it. DoctorPoor uses his Claw Flurry to Fury, is it? Oh my god, people are gonna hate me. Flurry. Okay, going for Claw Flurry. Grims throwing out his ult, hitting himself up on Chrono Flux, but the thing that you really have to look at here at this point is that Cold's HP is just so much higher. Wormer trying to escape, or at least DoctorPoor is being really tricky with his escapes, but I feel like it's kiting Neeeboe more than it's kiting DankBud. Dank is really Dank doesn't smoke? What? Yeah, Dank though going for really or is always able to pursue his target. Anyway, Dank spaces in. Grims going for M1s on him, but is getting locked or getting amped up by Blank0ut as well. He was in totem, but now it's taking some real damage. And actually, Neeeboe, look at him going ham on mad. 2 meteors coming out from the Worm deep or Cold DPS, both missing. Woj onto madviillain. Does he have space? He does not yet, but now he does. Okay, he did have Aegis. He lands his trance. Grims did the trance trick on the Chrono Flux. You can't throw your Chrono Flux like that. all the time, but I think Mad felt like he had really no other option. He was just probably crossing his fingers, hoping Grims did not have his chance. Grims will go down, but it's going to be really hard for Worm to win here. Maybe not. No. It will be impossible for Worm to, or Cold to win here. Sorry. Yeah. Well played by Worm once again. Grims really have to MVP in this game, honestly, even if his team is really far behind. But then again, we never know. Once again, I don't know the outcome of this particular game, so we really could see a comeback right now. Kind of unlikely though. They are against the ropes. One more round and Cold take it, and they've looked just dominant. So this should be in the bag for them. Space and Slagmine are missing, but Dank does stun shield the Whirling Blade of Neeeboe. Neeeboe pursuing out madviillain, gets juked out on his trans style, but Mad still doesn't land a fear. Neeeboe is weakened, goes for a meteor and everything. So much stuff being poured into madviillain right there. But Mad, what was that space? It wasn't a very good space, I have to say. He's kind of locked up in a corner, but he gets Stone Shield. Will he get Earthstorm? Maybe not. He does sprint away from the Woj of Grims. Grims can trance onto Mad. He's gonna attempt it. Stone Shield and Earthstorm for Mad. Blank by himself, trying to slow everyone down. Maybe has an ult, going for it onto DoctorPoor. Jukes out Grims' trance. Meanwhile, Neeeboe still trying to pursue out madviillain. Yeah, going for a Tempest. Mad gets the rune, weakens Neeeboe, and he can't really do anything. Shuriken, Harpoon, both sent out. One of them does end up hitting Mad. Tempest for Mad, Whirling Blade, and a Space. They're just going so hard for him. Trans onto madviillain, and a Silence coming out from DoctorPoor. It's going to be enough to kill him off. Blank goes down. Mad saying, oh my god, I threw it. I'd almost agree with him, not in the negative way, but it really was. After that one particular space where he put himself in the corner, yeah, not gonna waste space early is what he said. He was kind of put into some trouble, and now he has some big conversation coming out from Cole all of a sudden. I don't think Worm have talked at all, actually. They might be on Skype though. Translines onto Blank, one man Whirling Blade, Harpoon onto madviillain. Neeeboe is weakened up, so his M1s aren't going to do too much, but actually Blank0ut hit up has lost a lot of HP, not really going for any stacks on anyone. We'll start going for stacks soon, perhaps. Ult coming out from Glutton, a Stalagmite ends up missing. This is just kind of chaos at this point. Madviillain spacing north, hit by a Curse of Silence. Harpoon, two-man weaken. This ult from Neeeboe won't do too much. That was a really nice attempt on dispelling that runic. It did dispel it, but Mad had space anyway. Grims gets locked up on his Wuju, used his ult, but it's just completely duking it out with Blank right here. Neeeboe no trance, gonna end up switching towards Blank. Uses a Whirling Blade. Blank uses his Woj, stuns up some people. Blank's weakened, no, but he gets feared. That's a little bit too early to fear that player right there, and Blank gets a kill with the Meteor Shard. DoctorPoor definitely should not have feared Blank0ut right there. He should have just left him weakened, because that weaken is a 40% weaken, and his inhibitor was in trouble, so if that weaken was left on, that meteor would have only done 60% of the damage, and if Doctor had not been trying to M2 use his healing, god, what is it called? I swear to god I know it's like Blessing of something, but can I not click on? I guess, no, I am. What am I talking about? Wicked Blessing. If he had used this Wicked Blessing on his own inhibitor instead of Blank0ut to fear him, I think Grims would have lived at least. But then again, they were kind of in a bad position. You still have to look at Cold Team's HP though. They're really low. It was definitely playable, but you can't blame DoctorPoor for making one mistake. Everyone's making mistakes in these games. They're just chaotic. I have to say. But it makes sense that they are chaotic, because it's basically two turtley healers and like kind of turtly DPS as well. I wouldn't say SM is exactly turtly, but he definitely has to wait for the right time to burst. He can't just, like, unless he's getting big M1s off, which is really hard against a Herald because of the mantra weaken. You can't just go for damage, like just keep like trying to damage. You have to kind of set up Tempest Meteor combos and stuff like that. You have to take out real HP and weaken them, and also farm more energy than them. It's kind of hard to play SM in that scenario where you have two really turtly teammates and they have three really turtly teammates. You're just, it feels like you're just like punching a wall, you know, like you're not cracking it and you're just hurting your own hand. I'd say that's kind of, I mean, you look at Neebo's overall combat value, he wasn't in a 2v2 or anything like with his Grimrock, I don't think, like not a long one anyway, versus another healer. He ends up getting highest TPS, even though I'd say Grims is making some fucking crazy plays. You see Neebo doing like the most damage of everybody in the game, but in reality really not doing the most damage in the game, not cracking any real HP at vital times. You know, it's really hard for him. They need to go for the big Meteor Tempest combos, but it's so hard because you have to consider there's Runic Shield, there's Stone Shield, there's Earthstorm. All of those reduce damage by a significant amount, and then there's even the Chronal Flux and the Mantra weaken as well. It's so much. You're given like literally the smallest windows. I almost feel you have to win with an SM ultimate. I think going for one of those onto the Herald would be the best. Another thing that they did not do at all, which I think DoctorPoor really should have tried, is spacing madviillain. If you space madviillain into your SM and stuff, madviillain's gonna have to space away, right? But SM doesn't have to use his Tempest until that space is used. So that's some big pursuit that they have to commit to madviillain. But then again, once like these teams, they don't play together. It's kind of like, this means a lot more than an in-house game, and a decent amount more than a solo matchmaking game. So they are trying to coordinate, don't get me wrong, but this is just kind of like the rough draft of these teams. And it actually, from what I've heard, Blank0ut is actually playing with Arbris and Roque now, like as a team, so that's really good. But it is just a rumor that I heard, so I don't know 100% if that's true, but hopefully we do get to see some nice games coming out from them in the future. But anyway, thanks for listening, watching, whatever. Bye bye.